Okay.
Yeah, Cabinet.
Welcome everyone to the July meetings. Call for apologies. I've got apologies from Councillor John Bishton and Councillor Sarah Crump. That's all. Could I have a mover and a seconder, please? Councillor Crispin and Councillor Sherman. Those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Carried. Confirmation of the minutes. Can I have a mover that the minutes from the ordinary meeting held on the 18th of June 2026 as circulated be taken as read and confirmed? Mover, Ravi and Adrian. Those in favour say aye. Carried. Call for declarations of interest, gifts received and conflicts of interest. If there is anyone that would like to declare an interest in any of the items on the agenda today. Additional late items. There's only one I think that I know of, and it's just wondering if we can please move next month's meeting to Bingra instead of Warialda, same day, but just in Bingra, starting at 9 a.m. instead of 10 a.m. as the General Manager and I have to leave by about 11 to get to the Country Mayor's meeting in Sydney. We will then have September and October meetings in Warialda.
Yeah, mate. Brilliant advantage.
Sorry?
No.
The big 2 home games.
Yeah, so you get 2 home games up there. Yeah. Is there no one has any objections with that? It's just an hour earlier and same day, and then we'll have 2 in Warialda.
Well, the 27th.
Can I have a mover and a seconder for that? Councillor Coleman and Councillor Collins. Those in favour say aye.
Aye.
I don't think there's any third items. Okay, on page 6 is my mayoral minute. I'd like to move that the mayoral minute be noted for information. Could I ask for a seconder, please? Councillor Sherman. Those in favour say aye. Carried. We move on to page 13, the first one of the officers' report, the executive services report, and our General Manager, Leah Daly, will take questions on this. Anyone got any questions?
Can I just say how start moving heartening is to read all the things that are going on in our room.
Good, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like, you know, ice cream carts and yeah, just all the like the visits from the high school and everything. It's wonderful. So it's really very careful.
Ice cream carts, a sight to behold.
Well, things be going well.
Very cute. Very, yeah,
Gets them going.
fantasy type ice cream.
And it's funny, even though it's cold, they still want their ice creams, I read. And the elderly always like the students coming in, don't they? Okay.
I just on that topic, after the report, have we had any luck in finding the water leak at Narrowing?
No, not that I've heard. I didn't follow that up for you.
This seems like I'm up there twice a week for work, and it's just ongoing that the water's still running up into the car park area.
Anything else? And the officer's recommendation is the report be received. Could I have a mover and a seconder, please? Councillor Crispin and Councillor Sherman. Those in favour say aye. Carried. Okay, page 22, Corporate and Community Services Report. Helen Thomas, our CFO, will take questions on this.
Just
32.
22, right through to
Sorry,
60.
I've got a second question.
We are going to be advertising for another round of school-based trainees in coming weeks because term 4 is going to come up very quickly, and any students wanting to do that need to be enrolled and cracking by term 4. to get the cert done from year 10 before HSC finishes at the end of year 12. So hopefully, especially in the children's services area, we'll have a few more acres to help our services.
It was good to see that we've got that funding through the Smart and Skilled program till 2029, which is
Sensational.
really good news.
I think the biggest takeaway for me with this report is the fact that council's been received an invitation from the OLG to talk about our Freestart Aboriginal recruitment and supervisor network. I think that's quite commendable that Clarissa was asked to attend with our Indigenous staff members, our trainees. Certainly feather in her cap.
Clarissa's very, very passionate about the whole program, and I think she does it really well and needs commending because she follows up with the students all the time and she's very passionate.
It's a huge jump in merchandise sales at the Vic at Warrielda. Do we know?
The caravanners.
It's, that weekend that they came. That's what it's from. Right. I was wondering what it was from. Yeah.
It's been super busy up there. It's
Good.
crazy. You'll see next month we're updating those tourism reports to give you much more concise information rather than by age and it's more just what people are coming for, regardless of how old they are or where they come from and what they're buying, and being able to give you that sort of information much easier. So that'll be next month. We'll trial that. And if you've got any comments on it or want further stuff added, just let me know and we can adjust it however you'd like to see it.
Also good to see that the heavy vehicle training is going well.
An extra 39 for
39,
the trained driving. The Roxy Cafe is going really great. I think they needed a few days rest after the Orange Festival, but gosh, right. Which I think is fantastic for the town, having that cafe open again.
There seems to be so many travellers right throughout the Shire.
Yeah, and it's not school holidays anymore. It's all the time.
We've been there last month 3 times and it's always full.
Yep.
We just come there for coffee
Nice.
so we can get away from our cafe.
Yeah, absolutely. Coffee must taste nicer when you're not the one making it.
Right?
Coffee would always taste nicer if you're not the one making it.
Yeah, of course.
So many caravanners on the road at the moment too.
Look down the river.
It's
strange for the middle of July.
It's all, did you say?
Yeah.
And you'd think the cold weather would put them up a bit, like you'd think they'd be up north in the sun or something, but no.
Diesel heaters. Yeah, this is all very good heating. They really come to the sun now.
Yeah.
Finger op shop, do they give that much money out every month, do they, or just a one-off? A lot of money.
It's when they get enough, and I think they get applications to hand out, but they do hand out a lot of money. We should have a report. Mel will have a report from them the 30th of June next month, hopefully. Yeah, because there is Section 355. The Finger op shop are one of our best Section 355s that provide their profit and loss every year to show us what they've done. So
They do give a lot out. They buy a lot of equipment, or they did for the medical centres and kids for school excursions and things.
Yeah. I was at the Living Classroom yesterday and it was great to see Byron Bay School there and spending the week there. They said they're loving it.
There's lots of bookings at the Living Classroom at the moment because I know they've been after catering jobs, asking us for catering jobs. So I know next week and the week after their big meetings are booked in. I think one of them's like 90 people. So.
Yeah.
Any more questions on for Helen?
The only other one, Landcare, they said they supply a report, but I've never seen one. But they asked me the other day if I've ever read it. I said I've never seen it. So
no, I will check.
Because we do a fair bit for them with the nursery, and they have one of our buildings as their office.
They've just moved down to the courthouse now.
I'll chase that one up, me.
I know they were talking about it yesterday because they were talking about getting the contacts for other councils to be able to send it through to them. So they must have one. Any more questions for Helen? No, the officer's recommendation is that the report be received. Could I have a mover and a seconder, please? Councillor Coleman and Councillor Sherman. Those in favour say aye. Carried. Okay, page 62, item 9.3, technical services report. And Alex Eddy, our Director of Engineering, will take questions on this.
Couple of things to throw in that have been developments since the report was written, but happy to take any questions on what did make it into the report first.
Tip costs, are there any tip costs at the moment? I had a few.
No, we're in the process of 48 POS machines for the landfills, but they will be implemented within the next week to fortnight. We've put social media posts up. We have had contact from one of the local tyre companies seeking information. So I think people are broadly aware, and also at the landfills at the moment, there are signs that are saying the fees will be implemented this financial year. So I'm hoping that most people are aware of that.
I've just got a few questions. I wasn't sure if it was everything or some things or.
So no, it is not everything. The resolution from the council meeting where it was discussed was that we would implement, or we would enforce rather, fees for commercial waste and for tyres. And on the topic of landfills, we've had another lock broken at Cropper Creek and the gates left open. Those locks are $450 a piece. And the abuse of the landfill, it puts writing on the wall for closures of small landfills when they're abused. And I know I'm a cracked record on this one, but it's a serious issue. We are going to invest in some security cameras to see if we can see if we're able to target or find out who's been doing this. But it sort of points to members of the community, being that it's landfills that are not necessarily on the edge of the Shire boundary. So it's a pretty disappointing outcome to have it happening month to month to month to month.
And it's an expensive outcome that people don't realise they're going to, and we've put it out there so many times that they'll end up losing their tips. They're still destroying them, and they'll be jumping up and down when they've got no tips.
When was that? You know,
The most recent,
yeah.
Can I get a date and come back here?
Yeah.
Yep.
How did the bore testing go?
Bore testing went well. DQ have requested some additional testing, which I believe is manganese and it is in the report. It was manganese and something else. So we need to run another 24-hour test. There's no indication that it's going to be anything but a completely serviceable bore. So it's quite encouraging. Things that didn't make it into the report that happened since it was written. We do have some full service contractors working within the Shire. So if anybody is wondering why there's a contractor from outside the Shire doing road works, it's simply that all our graders are currently undertaking works. We have fairly large volume of works ahead of us this financial year. So we're using people from our panel contract to help us get works across the line. And unfortunately, there's not a local contractor that can do full service maintenance works on our gravel roads. If one appears, very much interested in doing business with them. But at the moment, there's nobody that has the full grader, water cart roller, and a suitably skilled grader operator to be doing public roads. Potholes have been a pretty decent sized problem for the last 6 weeks, and that's been due to our jet patches being in and out of workshops with error codes. I think in total for 6 weeks we had one jet patch off for 4 weeks and another off for 2 or 3. So it's been frustrating. They're very, very high dollar machines, and the build time for them at present is 54 weeks. So we'll likely out of this year's plant replacement program replace the deposit for the replacement of one of those machines, but we won't see the replacement for at least 12 months. The third pond that was dug at the truck wash, which served double use as somewhere to put water for our 72-hour pump test on the new bore in Warrialda, and ultimately a tertiary treatment pond for the truck wash ponds, is going to require the truck wash to be closed for a period of 6 to 8 weeks, so we can install the infrastructure in the additional ponds that will facilitate decanting of clear water from those ponds to the third pond, which will essentially just be a settling pond. We will speak with industry and make sure we're doing that at the least inconvenient time. I'm suspecting there's not going to be a great time to do it, but if we want the facility to function to its best, we're going to have to do that. And that was all I had.
There hasn't been a problem with odour.
Nothing reported.
No.
Well, it's really about being on the front foot.
Yeah.
Had 8 or 9 caravans there the other morning.
I think that's probably the litmus test. If there are caravans parked right next to those ponds for more than a night, there's not an issue.
I knew one of them. I went down out of yarn. He said he didn't smell anything. Right. And he said, you know what you're getting into when you camp there. It costs nothing. So
yeah,
can't really complain.
It's encouraging.
You got the water carts and you grader.
Yes, we did. So with the $1 million that Council resolved to reallocate from the roads component of the financial assistance grant, at the end of last financial year, we purchased a grader, 2 water carts and a telehandler. The water carts were not part of the plant replacement program, but they replaced 2 water carts that we've had hired on flood damage works for more than 2 years. The purchase price of those water carts was marginally more, the region of 10%, than 12 months of hire fees. So if we can get 15 months of life out of them, even if they're worth their scrap value at the end of that, which they won't be, we're ahead.
The new EV pool car going okay?
The take-up's been a little bit slow. There's been
The IT department might be.
I did hear comments that one afternoon there was up to 6 or 7 people out there trying to work out how to plug it in and charge it. But I think the teething issues are getting there. The younger ones are more likely to take it than those of us that are plastic savvy.
certainly paves the way to look at machines like BYD utes that do have some off-road capability, especially plug-in hybrids that have got a little bit further range, see whether they're feasible for use in our outdoor staff or in our outdoor crews. I think the real test would be whether they're robust enough.
Any more questions for Alex? Okay, the officer's recommendation is that the report be received. Could I have a mover and a seconder, please? Adrian and Ravi. Those in favour say aye. Carried. Okay, item 9.4, Business and Strategy Report on page 70. Justin Helmuth, the Director of Business and Strategy, will take questions on this.
One of the main things in the report, I guess, is the change to the introduction of the Development Coordination Authority, the DCO, when it comes to planning. They're now effective as of the 1st of July when there's a development that would trigger a state department's input which is common with bushfires with the RFS or Crown Land or DQ. I'm not going to try and figure out what that means. Is an acronym of at the moment, but they we refer to them and they distributed it out. Obviously, we put forward who we think it should go to, and then the planning department will make the final call on that, which is handy because there's times there's probably been departments we needed to have asked but hadn't in the past. But if it gets to 28 days, then and we don't hear any response, then it's assumed that it's all fine. I don't think it'll really make much difference to us when it comes to turning around developments, but because we've got quite good relationships with the state departments anyway, so it'll just be more about getting that who it's going to go to, right? And the other thing is we have in the information services that Arnie device, it's called Arnie, the community connectivity kit that's actually set up this week. Ben and the IT guys have been putting it over in the park there for people to be able to connect to as a point while the Telstra outage is occurring. And I got notification yesterday that this outage will actually go into Saturday by the looks of it at the moment. It's been a bigger job than they thought, so they're adding another day to it.
Is there any way to determine how much use it's getting?
Not sure. They limit what we can do with it because it was provided. Like we can't even change. The issue I've got with it is the range on it. We tried to use it at the Orange Festival and it wasn't great, so you've got to be close by. But we don't have any option to put it in our own gear to extend it further, so it's all pretty locked down. But we'll find out. There has been people using it though, I believe.
Good to see the 3 sporting clubs get that NBN service put in.
Yeah. We had that at a few sites already, Living Classroom and
Gravesend's got it.
then it got it there somewhere else as well, so it's good to extend it.
Is the service in Warialda, is it better since they upgraded the tower? You haven't had any issues?
Depends what day. Some days it's great, some days you have to sit in a certain spot.
It's just different. Like where you may not have had very good coverage before, you now have okay coverage, but then where places where you were fine, you now don't have coverage. So
Last Tuesday, in our, not in our place, but in our street, most of the people were using I had to give my password for the, because the service was so low, so down. It wasn't working last Tuesday at all, so it wasn't that great, and it's still patchy. It's not very great, so.
How are you going with the shop, Adrian?
We're completely, we don't rely on 4 or 5G network at all. We have it as backup for our headphones systems, but we're all on NBN, and we've been upgraded to fibre to the premise, so that we have a better service there.
Well, forever be black spots, and it's all based on line of sight, so there's going to be that issue. But in theory, it should have introduced more bands, which means that, you know, the lower bands, which would have been 3G once, the further away you are, you can still get connection, but you're not going to get that high speed 5G. Even though it says 5G, you're not going to get that higher speed. It's there more so for voice coverage, and the closer you are to the tower, the faster it should be.
So I even do Wi-Fi calling at home now.
Yeah.
Because I had a black spot inside the house, like in our main living space. So
NBN want to roll any more out, just consider the club at Bingra and the club at Warialda.
Yep.
And every community's got one.
Well, Bingra has got the Living Classroom. This stand, I think you're talking about.
Yeah.
How much does Warialda have one, Ben?
Yeah, the depot.
Yeah, we got one at the depot in Warialda.
Providing its own.
Any more questions for Justin? Okay, the officer's recommendation is that the report be received. Could I have a mover and a seconder, please? Scott and Rach. Those in favour say aye.
So
Harry. Sorry, I should be saying councillor Crispin and councillor Sherman. We'll move on to page 105, item 9.5, and it's the council's investment report, and Helen Thomas, our CFO, will take questions if anyone has any.
It's the standard monthly report, bearing in mind some of those figures in the general cash fund may change with end of year processing that we are currently doing.
That's why it's so high, highest it's been in 3 years.
As in the cash holdings, that won't change. That's how much cash we had in the bank, but how much of that we're actually allowed to spend and what's held over as restricted funding will change once we do the final acquittals of a lot of our grant funded programs are finally coming to an end, which is fantastic because the less of them we have, the more money in the bank is actually ours.
So you had a lot of happy people at Oriella Rail and Gravesend with the rate changes. So for some of them it was $1,800 different, $2,000 different compared to the last one and this one.
Yeah.
In the positive.
Unfortunately, we don't hear from happy people. We hear from unhappy people.
They got their letter. A lot of them just didn't understand, or not a lot. Some didn't understand it.
Yep.
And I tried to explain it was a good thing.
Yep.
As I spoke to you on the phone about
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Bit of a no-win situation because people want high money for their sale of their land and everything, and then they don't realise, think it's good that their land's valued high, but then the rates they don't like.
That's what I explained last night to some people at Oriel about their rates going up. That it's because of the values, and it's not our doing, it's the values
exactly.
of the land.
And we get lots included in our rates too, like we get the tips besides commercial and fires, but we get all that, whereas people have to pay in other places to go to tips and swimming pools and things like that as well.
Yeah.
And I just say if you do have any residents that come to you who are frustrated or cranky, refer them to us. But if you could just even send me a quick message or something to give me a heads up, we can have the information ready to help those people before they get to the front door. Because people do get frustrated and aren't quite willing to listen as well as they could if they took a breath. But if you can just forewarn us, it'll make everyone's life a little bit easier because we have had a few frustrated people through the doors lately. And some of them are people that come every year and try and they don't want the waste fee and they don't want things, but they're standard fees you have to pay for. So they do get the same response every year and get frustrated every year, but those sorts of things, they are what they are.
It is a problem with all councils. I saw my cousin commented on a issue for Gold Coast, the Gold Coast community, where people were outraged by their increase in council rates. And he made a comment that it's not the council.
Yeah.
If you looked at your council records, you'd see that the rate increase was this, but it's because your land value has increased.
Or it's the other fees and charges. And unfortunately, while we're trying to maintain water, sewer and waste as well, that money has to be garnered from somewhere. So, and everything's costing more and we need to be ready when we need to fix stuff. So
any more questions on that for Helen? Okay, the officer's recommendation is that the June 2026 monthly investment and rates collection report be received. Could I have a mover and a seconder for that, please? Councillor Gill and Councillor Crispin. Those in favour say aye. Carried. Okay, item 9.6 is the 2026-2027 councillor and mayoral fees, and it's on page 108, and Helen will chat about this as well.
So this is just your standard fees that you receive every month over the 12 months as councillor and or mayor. Every year it goes to council, and council has always adopted the maximum fee for our councillors and mayor, given the categorisation of Gwydir being rural and not being a high value area, I suppose you could say. And the workload that goes into it, the maximum has always been adopted. So it's entirely up to you guys on what you would like to set as your fee up to the maximum.
Any questions? Okay. The officer's recommendation is that council sets its councillor fees for the 2026-2027 financial year at $14,450, being the maximum fee available under the Local Government Remuneration Tribunal's 2026-2027 determination. That council sets its mayoral fee for the 2026-2027 financial year at $31,510, being the maximum fee available under the Local Government Remuneration Tribunal's 2026-2027 determination. Could I have a mover and a seconder, please? Councillor Sherman and Councillor Crispin. Those in favour say aye. Carried. Okay, move on to page 196, item 9.7, planning proposal RU5 Village to E1 local centre rezoning. And Justin Helmuth, the Director of Business and Strategy, will talk about this.
So this, the crux of this is to essentially maintain the amenity of our main streets so that they're not being converted to housing. They've got the same RU5 broad, that it's across everywhere in town. And unfortunately, we would probably see a trend of housing coming in the main street, which we have a little bit in Bingara, and it's just to put a stop to it. The main things in the actual proposal is the areas and the uses. The areas are in section 2, I think. They're in section 2 listed specifically. Everything in there is already a use that would be permissible within the new proposal, and it doesn't matter anyway because anything that's already there has already been approved as that use anyway. And section 5 has the land use table, which tells you what's permissible with and without consent, which is prohibited, and it's more so what's prohibited. There's no actual change to minimum lot sizes or setbacks or building heights or anything like that. It is just literally changing what is free zone and what's prohibited then in the main street. If anyone asks why there's been no talks of this from council in the past, is that we actually can't go to the public about a planning proposal until it's gone to gateway determination, because for public feedback, that is, because it'll be up to the Department of Planning as they make that gateway determination to say what level of community consultation is required, and it could also be around what feedback they give us to changes, and it's better that we don't go out before we're given those changes up front. It has gone to our local Department of Planning contacts just to give it a quick look over for their comment, but now it's just got to be submitted to the what's it called, the planning portal now, and then they would assess it. There's no dates for timelines. It's all in the back, which will be filled in post resolution, because it would depend if you just decided to go through or not, then what the timeline is. But yeah, it's pretty straightforward.
Yes, and if there was a business that someone lived in, if there was a residence in that building, they wouldn't be allowed to knock that down and then build.
So that's be a new development. Yeah.
And those property that are already there, they have the houses there on the area, proposed area. So coming under the commercial things, when that the commercial rates will be applied to them, or they still remain under that?
Well, if they're living in it, that should have been changed to residential use, and then their rates would already be applied to residential. If they're commercial, Oh, you're talking about if they're residential now, would it change? This doesn't change what's already there. This would just be for future development. So,
All right, so we're just putting stop to the future.
yeah, this just rezones that. If anyone then does another development, they have to adhere to the new zoning requirements.
So of course, those property that are already there, once it goes through, they'll be informed about that.
Yeah, well, the gateway determination will tell us the level of consultation we do. It will go to everyone in the main street and the surrounding properties as well. There will be notification to them, certain that. And if there wasn't, we'd do it anyway. So yes, they will know about it before it's approved. The gateway determination, that the department would say, yes, if we can continue ahead, but you need to do these things. Or no, this isn't in line with the strategic policies that you have in place.
And this is probably something that should have been looked at years ago, isn't it?
Well, it's just something, it's like, I suppose it hadn't been an issue in the past. There hasn't been that conversion, but it's, housing shortage now and people are looking at getting in anyway. So fortunately it's permissible.
Any more questions?
I just noticed, is there a reason the Telstra building in Warrior is not included? On page 11 of your report.
So I'm up to now.
Number 41.
Page 209. So you have the post office on Piper Street included, but the Telstra building behind it not.
The exchange, just
You can tell the exchange.
No, there isn't, but it could be included. You can amend that.
And this won't affect people like pubs and motels and things that have already got their accommodation with their buildings either.
No.
Any more questions?
The heritage listing building, and one of the report I just last read, I didn't mark the page. But that shows in one page that it's a heritage listing, and then in the other it can show after the rezoning thing map that will show that they didn't highlight it very well. So probably
The heritage listing would still apply. That wouldn't change.
yes. They were in Home Street. Not in my building. That was fine, but the next one.
Make an adjustment if needed, and wouldn't change. It wouldn't affect any heritage listings.
Any more questions? Okay, the officer's recommendation is that council endorse the planning proposal to amend the Gwydir Local Environmental Plan 2013 by introducing the E1 local centre zone and rezoning selected Main Street land in Bingra and Warialda from RU5 Village to E1 local centre. Further, that council submit the planning proposal to the New South Wales Department of Planning, Housing and Infrastructure through the New South Wales Planning Portal for a gateway determination. Could I have a mover and a seconder, please? Councillor Coleman and Councillor Collins. Those in favour say aye. Carried. Okay, 9.8 on page 239 is the committee memberships, and Lee Daly, our General Manager, will take questions. We were all given a list of these at the beginning of our council term, so I think it's now we're going, isn't it, because of changes with Councillor Dixon.
And there was just a general question around the suitability of or the different interests that other councils had. So we thought we'd bring the whole thing up for consideration so you can have an open conversation about where you would like to represent council.
So is there any questions or any preferences that anyone wants to bring up, or do you want them to contact you?
I think if we can decide today, unless there's something a bit delicate to talk about, but I can't imagine there would be, if you could just let me know if there's any changes that you want to make, and Councillor Gill, what you're interested in taking on.
As I said, that wherever there is a room, I'll fit in. Yeah, so wherever you think that there is, there is a room for me to move in, and I will. But yeah, it
Put it
doesn't.
on all of them.
Hey?
There's room on all of them, so. I can put
Yeah,
one on everything.
well, that's right. I mean, yes,
I guess we could talk about Councillor Dixon, former Councillor Dixon's responsibilities. She was on the Bingra Special Events Committee, but there is 2 other councillors on that already.
yeah.
Actually 3, so there's probably no need for another one there. Bingra Men's Shed, is that something?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah. Okay. Bingra Historical Society. Is that?
I mean, I don't know how many times I can come to Bingra, but
Yeah.
I've got no problem with coming to Bingra.
Is there someone more appropriate to, or better place to do that? Participate on that committee, because that is, we only have one council representative on that committee.
Just depends when they have their meeting.
Hmm.
I mean, like
I can write to them and find out.
Yeah.
I'll come back to you. Bingo Showground Committee and the Disability Access Committee. And those meetings, the Disability Access Committee meetings are held at alternate towns. So that's something that.
1 month it's at Warrior and 1 month it's at Bingo.
On that committee, I don't think I've ever been advised about it.
Oops. Okay.
So my apologies for not ever attending.
we have a meeting in the last 2 months. They've always been something.
I'm happy to take the showground committee on and go to that with Scott from Councillor Dixon not being available
Yeah.
or retired, I should
Just-
say.
I'm down to Brock too,
Mhm.
just by the way.
Okay.
Or is that
I can add that.
not there?
Shouldn't have noted down.
There is no one in Border Regional Organisation of Councils.
That's what Sean was just saying.
Yeah, so I can be if you.
In the one?
Rock.
Right.
So currently Councillor Galvin and Councillor Coleman are on that committee.
It's
So,
not highlighted.
yeah, sorry about that.
okay.
Yeah.
That's my bad.
And it's usually the mayor and the deputy mayor that usually go most of it, isn't it?
There's only one councillor on the bushfire liaison and the local emergency services management, Ravi.
Yeah, I can go with that one, yeah.
Which one? Sorry.
The bushfire liaison and the local emergency management committee.
Which one liaison? I don't think did they have a meeting? Well, I've never been advised.
BFMC meetings, which I'll have to check what that acronym stands for. And I will look into why you have not been invited.
I've also dropped off getting information from the weeds meeting. Do you still get that?
I go for it for New South Wales farmers, but I'm on about 6 of them.
I've not received that. Probably haven't this year.
Since you're down for the Murray-Darling Association, but I've been getting
Yeah.
those ones doing them.
Maybe I've never been to one on that.
There's only been
You
one
upset,
since.
right?
Councillor Collins is on most of them. Yeah, that's good.
I'm still apologise for everything that I should be attending that I've not been advised of.
What was the first one you weren't invited to? Sorry that you mentioned. I've written down
The disability access.
disability. Thank you.
And it was probably because we were given this on the very first day of the first council meeting, so probably there was a lot happening that day too. And
But do we need to add the Warrior Events Committee to that one?
Yes.
yeah,
I think
I think we're all going to that, aren't we?
You do the op shop too.
Probably the Chamber one,
I
if you
can
want
do
to,
it.
you own a business.
Figure out.
Not for long now, but I can come there, yeah. I can come there, yeah, of course. I haven't found the time, that's all. Been invited before. Yeah, I will go now, because now we're closing our business.
How about I do a revised table and put it in front of you again next month? And I'll find out why you're not getting invited. I'm sure it's not about you personally.
Not going to write away anything.
Sure, it's an oversight. So leave that with me if you're happy. I've got Councillor Gill on the Bushfire Liaison Committee, and I've written the LEMC. Is that what it is?
England District Vision 2020,
Okay.
yeah. That'd be all right,
And the Warialda Chamber?
yes. Oh,
I think the did the Vision 2020 have a meeting last night to see if they were still going ahead?
I haven't known.
Supposed to have their AGM.
Sorry?
They were supposed to have an AGM coming up because the last one got delayed or postponed, so they didn't have enough show up.
There weren't enough paid members to vote, were there? Did it happen last night?
Because there was a massive crowd at the last one, wasn't it? Apparently you have to be a paid member.
How's Nauru go, Councillor Sherman? Do you need someone else with you in case you can't attend? Or do you attend most of them or all of them?
Again, I've never been advised of it.
I'm happy to be an alternate.
I haven't been to one because I haven't known when they're on
I'll sit with you, the historical one, that's fine.
with those invitations.
We will make sure you get every invite that you need to have. Councillor Sherman, come down, Phil.
I didn't realise I'm so overall.
Historic.
Yes. that I've never
I got
been.
the Warialda one.
Yeah.
I'm already on his.
Wasn't aware that I haven't had the invite for any Gwydir Community Health Alliance.
No.
Those meetings haven't happened for a long
Okay.
time. It's pretty much a non-event.
There you go. I haven't been that because there hasn't been one.
No, I'll chase the others up for you.
Pretty much anything that I'm on, I've not been advised about. We've had a historical society.
What I will do is redo this, inform the people that are organising who our council reps are, and come back to you next month.
Yeah.
If there's any area that you're particularly interested in that you might want to add, just get in touch with me and I'll pop it in.
We'll look at Councillor Crumps because she's absent today too.
Yeah.
An apology today, so we'll look at Councillor Crumps and add her into.
Okay.
Okay, the officer's recommendation is that council review and determine committee memberships for the remainder of the current term of council, and that the updated schedule of committee memberships be recorded in the minutes and adopted accordingly. Could I have a mover and a seconder, please? Councillor Collins and Councillor Crispin, those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Carried.
Because of the way that's worded, I'll send these out to you by email so you can tweak them before they get popped in the minutes.
That's good. Item 9.9 on page 241 is the aged care governance, and Leah Daly, our General Manager, will take questions.
You would remember that often when I'm talking about the Nauru report, I say that we have to treat report the way we do because in effect under the legislation, our council is a board for aged care. This is just information I'm providing to let you know of the changes afoot with the aged care legislation and what's required of us. So watch this space.
Okay. Any questions? The officer's recommendation is that the information be noted. Could I have a mover and a seconder, please? Councillor Wilmot and Councillor Sherman. Those in favour say aye. Carried. Okay, we'll move on to councillors' reports. We'll start with Councillor Coleman.
Just a couple of things. The North Star bike ride was a great success, and thanks to the council for their help. I think 300 to 350 people were there over the weekend. That was a big success. A couple of other things. Spoke to a resident, they'd like a pool. I said, that's not going to happen. But they would dearly love something about the pub, the hotel site in North Star being cleaned up.
Yeah, we're already engaged with the owner and they're getting someone set out to
Okay.
fix that.
Right. That was, and thank you for whoever got onto the jumpstart. It's going into Wallaroo. I think that's right, Justin.
Yes, the AZ. Yeah, it's ordered.
Yeah.
And we're just waiting for it to show up and we'll go on the outside of the pub there and in a cabinet. So it's
from the community there. So that is all.
Thank you. Councillor Collins.
How's our sign at the tourist centre going? Never works hardly anymore. Just wondering if we're under warranty and they're going to replace it or?
Yes, we are. And that's also the reason why we haven't ordered the one out the front, because it's the same company. Making sure that it was, because for a long time, they did come out and fix it and then it broke again. And I think they were having issues with getting an electrician locally that would fix it, but then they sent someone out on site, but they're going through the process again. It's driving us mad.
Yeah, it's just not a good look when it's never worked.
No, certainly not.
The other one is the Warrior the Pool. I think there's letters missing out of it or some not working.
General Manager and I were discussing that right before this meeting. So
Yeah.
that will be addressed.
Again and again.
Talking about signs, being up a living classroom yesterday, the new building on the left as you drive up, a lot of the signs are peeling off toilet doors and things like that. So I don't know if they've got warranty with the builders there. And funny winter, so imagine summer. Just
On the new building.
dodgy, yeah, all the signs are peeling off on the toilet doors and things.
Thank you.
The village tours, have we set dates for those?
I'll have a report to you for the next meeting with proposed dates.
Landcare want to know if when they take over the court building or when they move in there, are they able to establish some gardens of their own out the front and fix up what's there?
Yes.
Yeah, they just wanted permission before they went ahead with it.
Yeah, I can contact them.
And talk about gardens, our green space gardens. I know it's winter and things look drab, but it's pretty ordinary driving in off the highway. Down there, it all needs mulching. And what was there's died and just rotted into the ground, I suppose. The trees are still there. They've gone dormant, which is natural in winter, but there's nothing else there. It's just
I haven't seen to
needs a big mulch and a bit of love for sure. And I don't know what they're grass trees. I don't know what they're real. I call them black boys. You're not allowed to do that, but whatever they're called, hopefully they're still alive. They don't look real good. I went closely to them and looking very healthy.
This is probably a little bit of a tired comment, Councillor Collins, because there has been so much ongoing change. We have a new leading hand in Parks and Gardens who is a long-term warrior local and very passionate about the appearance of the community. It's only been in the role for, I think, perhaps about 6 or 8 weeks, but I do expect this will be the last change that happens in that space, and I think it's going to be a very positive one. So I appreciate that there are some things that have gone to the wayside under previous direction, but current direction is one that we are quite hopeful.
Yeah, I'm sure just being a brand new facility, it already looks drab. That's all, and that's not ideal. And the last one is the bypass. There must be people that walk the bypass, but apparently it's looking a bit like a tip along the roads. I don't know if that's our responsibility or it's whose responsibility it is, but I said I'd bring it.
It'll be a good job for somebody who turns up early at the yard next time.
Tell them to take a trailer because I went up and had a look and there's heaps. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Collins. Councillor Wilmot.
One other thing I've mentioned before is I have the 2 bridges between Bingo and Warrior Road around Midway. I have a ratepayer who constantly brings up that there is a drop off and it's affecting his vehicle.
Okay.
I don't particularly feel it. I don't know about anyone else when they come across them. I've travelled with Rachel once before and we didn't feel it when we came across. That was
One of them I do, one of them I don't.
yeah.
Both the state roads in our Shire have regular inspections that have to be recorded in a program called Reflect, which council uses and Transport for New South Wales use. And part of the road maintenance council contract is that there's a mandated inspection frequency. And we also have surveillance officers as well that pick up on things. So I'd be surprised if there was an issue there that warranted serious attention, because there's so much reporting and inspection that Transport doesn't mess around with. But we'll have a look regardless and investigate.
Okay, and just after Sean mentioning the AED, Alex, we discussed a AED for the green space in Morialna, as we don't have a 24-hour access AED in the community.
You could probably move the one.
We relocate the one council building to the green space.
Yeah.
As so it's available 24/7, but there's one in the main street here that's 24/7.
Good idea.
And this one is probably a bigger issue. It's I was redoing my first aid on Monday. Jamie was there and his off-signer. I can never think of his name.
Jamie, as you know.
Yeah.
Laidlaw?
No. Lost completely. But just in conversations through our course, it came up about communications coverage, and they said that quite often that they are in the extremes of our council and do not have communication coverage. And I'm just wondering if we have a duty of care to all of our staff members to ensure that they are covered in case of an emergency.
Okay, so a couple of elements of that. One is, which I should have raised with Councillor Collins previously, my apologies. We are in the process of fitting out all of our graders with Starlinks. I think that 3 have been commissioned now, Ben? 3 or 4. 3 or 4. So that will offer mobile contact for every crew that's got a grader attached to it, which will be probably 75%, maybe not 75%, perhaps 50% of our outdoor workforce that are in remote areas. For those that aren't, we do have a two-way network that covers the entire Shire, and all cars are installed with that two-way system. Since mobile phones came along, people became less reliant on the two-way system and just using mobile phones because you contact a person directly rather than broadcasting across the Shire. But I think that it's just a little bit of behavioural change that we need to enact to say to the guys, look, you've got the two-way there. In the case of an emergency, you can use it. Third facet to that is we currently have 3 fleet management programs that our workshop uses, and one of them is currently in our graders, jet patches and our Ranger vehicles, and it's a program that will replace the other 2. It currently doesn't have offline capability, and what that means is if we're relying on it for our pre-start checks, there's no capacity for our staff in remote areas to do a check if there's not mobile service, or if we're not paying for the satellite connection, which is quite expensive. We're told that offline capability is coming. When we have that, that will get rolled out to our entire fleet, and it has duress buttons as part of the system. So it is something that we've been working on for a while, and there are solutions in the pipeline. I think that through the education of the UHF and then ultimately the duress buttons in the system that we're moving towards, the problem will be solved. We can't reasonably expect to be chucking a Starlink on every vehicle in the Shire, which people would like, and look, it's a great system, but there's a fairly decent cost associated with it. Thank you.
Thank you. Anything else? Thank you, Councillor Warner. Councillor Crispin.
I'd like to thank all of the staff who are involved with anything to do with the orange picking and the orange festivals. A lot of comments from visitors on how good the town looks and how well organised the events were. A lot of market stall owners I spoke to, most of them, they said how easy it was to work with the staff. But credit to everyone involved on how good our council staff are. The council staff say it's just part of their job, but they do above and beyond their job. They're amazing. Can't say anything higher of our staff. They're so good.
I actually sent out letters thanking them too, because we can all say they get paid for it, but as you said, they go above and beyond. And I had several people comment after the festival, they came up the street that night and there wasn't one bit of rubbish around, which is, I know people were clean, but it's also thanks to the staff do an amazing job.
That's all I had. Thanks.
Thank you, Councillor Crispin. Councillor Gill.
Yeah, great festival. That was Orange Festival, and I've spoken to a lot of, not a lot of, but at least few of them, the exchange students, and really, they were really excited and delighted and really welcomed, and particularly to the Wurrungi students. I spoke to them, few of them, and they were really happy. So that's a really good program. Congratulations to our Shire, the exchange program and all. Yeah, about the pool side, so Councillor Commonwealth already mentioned that. People have asked me to keep that. I don't know if I should Gravesend. People have asked me to keep their names, like, confidential about I don't know if the council can do anything about. I said to them that I don't know if the council can do anything. They don't have any during the daytime or even the evening shop or anything that they can quick do anything. And even if it is and it doesn't open or shut timing, they just close when they want and open when they want. So they don't have the set timing. So the school kids particularly having a problem with the parents. Sometimes they don't have things and they can't quickly go and grab and stuff like that. So I don't know if the council can do in any way participate in that, but I said that I can bring it up. That's all I can do, but I don't know if it's council's responsibility, who opens the business or not. If they propose something, then of course council can help them, but no one's proposing or anything, so we can't do anything about it.
No, unfortunately, it's a private business that we don't have any power over their opening hours, but certainly I can reach out and see what say that's been brought up as an issue and see if they need assistance.
Yeah.
Business is for sale, I think. They're no, it's for sale and they've been trying to sell it for quite a long time.
Yeah, a couple of years now, the pub they're trying to sell. Yeah, that's in there. 11. So North Star, couple of people gave me a call, and then I went to them and had a chat with few of them. I'll bring that up in the confidential one, but yeah, great job. They said that they are very happy about the back of that fuel station, the curb things that were done, and yeah, I drove around that. So that was good. And they also brought up, cleaning a bit around the pub and all that stuff. Yeah, so that was it. And then great job cleaning the trees down our lane and on the Mosquito Creek that was there. The people appreciated that. But also, I don't know, we already have received the application from a certain individual from Melrose Estate. They brought it that I think they bought the place in 2019 or 2020, and they were given the information that they up to their house road was in the spectrum to carry all bitumen and all that stuff. And so they were having some health issues and they brought it up for that.
I don't recall seeing anything to that effect. I'd be very surprised if council has made a commitment to progress any sealing in that fashion.
Just before the floodway. Yeah.
Okay, I'll look into that and see if something's come in and hasn't come to my desk, but I haven't seen anything today.
So that was it. And is there a reason why we can't top up the gravel on that road?
Resources. Our gravel network in total is a hair over 1,600 kilometres long, and we're operating 8 graders at the moment, and it's just being in a lot of places at once, and there are roads everywhere that are crying out for gravel. We do have to, I have to reformulate our road priority list and submit it back to council for adoption. That as opposed to a dedicated works program says that this road is our #1 priority for maintenance, and then goes down the list, and that affords us some flexibility that we need when we've got things like major grant funded projects and flood damage on the table. So there'll be an opportunity when that comes to council for adoption for discussion around whether specific roads are worthy of a higher priority than they currently have. At the moment, we're working to the document that council previously adopted, but it is due to come back to council for re-adoption.
Well, it was like a couple of days, the work was done on that road, and the cart was there for 3 days. It done about 6 trips or 7 trips. So my home office is right on the road, so I saw them coming, and they were doing their job, no doubt. Everyone was very diligent doing their job. There's no one was sitting around or doing anything. But what happened is the water went, and the roller and the other roller, small roller, and they went through there, and the water went up back again. And when the roller went back on the road, it was all muddy because there wasn't anything to hold it.
Could we have a look at the break, please, on our I call it our Google Street View carbon. It's a system called Rackus. If we could have a look at the break at the specific location, I might be able to give you a better answer as to what we can or can't do.
No, yeah, I'm not saying that they were not doing their job or the job wasn't done properly. I'm just saying because there is nothing to hold on the road, and it became just a mud puddle.
Sure.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that the job wasn't done.
No, I understand. Yes.
The effort was absolutely 100% effort was there. But because that road is always, a lot of flood water comes through the rain and all, and there's nothing on the road that can hold that. And I mean, I would say till we have any request, I'm happy to say that talk to the people that, we have to wait for a turn till we can put some more gravel on it. Otherwise, there's no point in work and using our council resources for just a quick fix, because it's only been like a week. And if you go on the road is back on the same condition it was. So like 3 days of resources were used. And I think it doesn't make any sense unless we have a proper gravel on. At least, I'm not saying put a bitumen, but at least have a proper gravel.
Understand.
Yeah. Yeah. That's it for me.
Thank you, Councillor Gill. Councillor Sherman.
Another one for you, Alex. I had someone come through with concerns about the safety at a crossing along the Oregon Road, just west of the Currawina mailbox. I don't know if that makes any sense at all to you. Further on from the Durang Road, about another 3-4 Ks.
Right.
Just the safety of it. It's a
causeway.
Yeah.
Yep.
But it narrows quite considerably. And they were just very concerned, like when there's 2 cars. There's no, I don't believe there's any signs either side. So it could be just putting a sign saying
Yeah, certainly.
something.
Yeah, width indicators are fairly helpful as well. If it's missing those.
I think work had only recently been done in that area. So perhaps the signs were removed and they've not been put.
Can certainly investigate.
And then also there's a decent hole on Mosquito Creek Road at the Gilgil P junction.
Yep.
On the eastern side. Of the junction.
Can certainly see to that.
That's it.
Thank you, councillor Sherman. We might break for morning tea and then we can go into confidential. It is recommended that the council resolve into committee of the whole with the press and public excluded to allow consideration of the listed items as provided for under section 10A2A, C and DI of the Local Government Act 1993. Could I have a mover that we go into confidential and a seconder, Councillor Wilmot and Councillor Crispin? Those in favour say aye. So at 11:42 we'll go into confidential. So the meeting is reopened at 12:30.
Hey, Mayor, I have the following recommendations from council in committee. The first one being for item 1.1, confidential organisation and community services report. The officer recommendation is that the report be received. The second item, 1.2, utility tender GWY-2026-T06. The recommendation is that council accept tender GWY-2026-T06 and proceed with the purchase of 6 Ford Ranger utility vehicles comprising 3 dual cab all-wheel drive vehicles and 3 single cab two-wheel drive vehicles from Armadale Auto Group for the tendered amount of $288,534 exclusive GST. For item 1.3, land tender GWY-206-T05, Gwydir Highway Warialda, that council decline all tenders for the disposal of lot 7 DP 1310993 on Gwydir Highway Warialda. Further, that council negotiate with the preferred tenderer under section 1783E of the Local Government Regulations 2021 to determine the best value outcome for council. This will enable a direct sale, which is council's preferred option. Further, that the GM be provided with delegated authority to accept a suitable offer from the preferred tenderer.
Okay, move it that the recommendations from committee of the whole are accepted as resolutions. And can I have a seconder, Councillor Coleman? Thank you. Being no further business, I declare the meeting closed at 12:33 p.m.